Boarding complete, ready for gate departure.
Okay, let's get into the cockpit. Welcome to the flight deck. Please join me for a ride in this Boeing 737 home cockpit from Los Angeles to Phoenix, Arizona. Our flight time today will be approximately 1 hour 12 minutes. Okay, let's start with the pre-flight items, and the first thing to do, of course, is starting the battery switch. I'll show you which it is. Right up here. And as you can see, a lot of lights coming up now. Next is put the standby power to order, and the avionics will start now. Have all the avionics down here. Starting the APU, we can observe the exhaust gas temperature rising to approximately 700 degrees. Reaching this temperature, we can turn on the APU generators switches. The source of lights will extinguish. Next thing I will do is turn off the dome lights on the aft overhead panel. It's pretty dark in here right now. We will turn up some panel lights on the overhead panel and also down on the pedestal, and of course on the main instrument panel. I will have some navigation lights on, position lights. Every pilot, unfortunately, first has to do some paperwork, and this is our paperwork today. This shows our route from Los Angeles International Airport using the Hals 9 standard instrument departure to Tango Romeo Mike VOR and the Blythe VOR. And we are supposed to have the Gila 3 standard arrival route into Phoenix. Where do we know the standard departure and standard arrival routes from? Well, it's from the ATIS or weather at the departure airport here in Phoenix, in Los Angeles. The wind is coming from 260 degrees at 9 knots, so it's very likely we're gonna take off to the west, whereas in Phoenix right now there's a wind of 7 knots and gusts 14 knots even from the east, 80 degrees, so it's likely we are going to land to the east. Also, I have collected the en route weather. As you can see here, we will encounter fairly strong winds during our flight, which will be approximately flight level 330. At 320 we will have wind of 70 knots coming from 310 degrees, and the descent winds are depicted here. Flight level 200 is 50 knots at 330 degrees, and flight level 100 is 25 knots from 350 degrees. And this is the total air temperature, minus 45 degrees in our flight level. This is a load sheet. Load sheet contains all the information about the weight and balance. Our total payload today is approximately 38,000 pounds, and we will have a takeoff fuel amount of 11,300 pounds. En route we will need a little more than 7,000 pounds. The landing weight will be approximately 133,000 pounds. Using this data, we will set the stabilizer trim for takeoff to 6. We will do that later on the throttle quadrant. Having a mean aerodynamic chord at the takeoff of 20.67%. We will later put this into the FMC. For the purpose of our departure, we will have to do some airport familiarization. For taxiing Los Angeles International Airport, right now we are on gate 38 over here, and it's very likely, as we are taking off to the west, that we will use taxiway Delta or Echo up here to runway 24 left or 24 right. This is the standard instrument departure, Holds 9 departure, and taking us from either 24 left or 24 right. We will join this common route at waypoint NE, go on to Nank, Togak, PV and Halts, and from there on to the next waypoints.